Another thing that came out of Riyadh was there's this Joy Forum, and Novak took a stage with Dana White and with Shaquille O'Neal, and he was talking about kind of where tennis currently sits and how he feels about it. And obviously, Novak is one of the co-founders of the PTPA, but he had this to say:
when you see there's injustice, you do something about it, And in our sport, it's a big monopoly that has been there for decades. And so that was actually the biggest inspiration for me and Vasek Pospisil, who was my colleague tennis player. We founded a Professional Tennis Players Association, which is basically a union of players, which we don't have in all the American sports. I mean, Shaq, you were one of the leaders of the Players Union back in the days when you guys were fighting for the pay, for the equal pays and representation of the players. We don't have that in our sport. We didn't have it. Now we have the PTPA, but still we don't have the seat at the table where the decisions are being made. That's the downside of our sport and the way it's structured. The system is, as it is. So to go back to the point, I've always wanted to be looking to innovate where I see there's room for innovation and stand up. And with my achievements, I have, thankfully, a platform and a mic in my hand, and I can say certain things that are going to hurt a lot of people and they're going to disturb a lot of chairs. But I don't care, because in the end of the day, I love this sport. This sport has given me everything in my life. So I want to give it back, not just on the court, but outside of the court as well. What can I do for the players? What can I do for this sport? How can I personally engage in certain changes that these gentlemen know very well about in their respective sports? How can we force that in a right way? So that's something that is going to, a lot of people are going to oppose that and they're not going to like it. But in the end of the day, I can sleep well, my heart is at the right place, and I know that I'm doing something that inspires me, the fire that Shaq referred to, that it just keeps going. It just keeps going because as long as you live, as long as you breathe, you want to create, you want to make this world a better place from the standpoint of where you are.
JW, you just spent some time with Dana White. So we're talking about, you guys know about players' unions and how we need them to fight for our sports. Dana White is in a lawsuit for fucking billions of dollars trying to take a dump on anyone who wants to unionize. Am I overstating that, JW? He was on the stage right there with Novak, like two seats to the right.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that the tense. I mean, the UFC settled for I believe it's $375 million a lawsuit brought by former players that essentially it was a sort of anti-restraint of trade, basically union busting. And there are other lawsuits pending. So I did wonder, there was a bit of irony. I did wonder what Dana White thought about this upsetting deck chairs.
He was quiet during that monologue.
Yeah. You can watch that whole segment on YouTube. Mm-hmm. At one point, Dana White got stuck and sort of, I think he said, he referred to Djokovic as that guy down there who's a killer.
Yeah, he's a killer.
I don't think there was a long-term relationship between the two of them. But no, Novak's comments were interesting. They were a little vague. I'm not quite sure. He's kind of distanced himself from this PTPA. His name is very notably not a named plaintiff on this lawsuit. That was, I'm not sure what he was. It sounded good, but I'm not sure what the specifics were.
And also the monopoly, is that the tour or is that the slams or is that all of the above?
I think it's all the above.
Like you say system, and it's like, okay, specifically which system? You say monopoly, okay, specifically which monopoly? It's kind of the same thing where we had an episode where I was certainly less than the best version of myself with the CEO of the PTPA.
Ahmad Nassar.
Last year. And it's like, okay, well, we've started a union. I was specifically told by them that it's not a union, right?
Well, it's basically a union.
It's basically a union, but legally it's not.
Yeah.
Because there are some problems with that. And also, just frankly speaking, like I think Novak is extremely well-intentioned. I think the players in the locker room have grown to really love and adore this guy as a leader in the sport. And also at some point he's like, I'm going to come out and say some things. Then let's say it.
Yeah.
This thing's been around for a long time now. right? Let's just come out and say it.
Well, I think
And let's be specific, and also let's be. This is the thing that I need as like when I'm trying to get on board, because obviously I think there needs to be a union. I just think that the players need to decide who is that for them. I don't think you can start a union and then say we represent you. I don't think that's the way it works, and it hasn't worked for the PTPA.
Well, and another group of players, and John, maybe you can expand on this. Another group of players have signed, now I think multiple letters to the slams, asking for increased pay, asking for a seat at the table. And I believe Novak, who isn't a part of the lawsuit by name, did sign the first version of that, which is outside of the PTPA.
So he signed
the first version of the letter.
He signed the first version of the player representative. I think Larry Scott is running that group. He signed that letter and then did not sign the PTPA lawsuit.
Correct. And then I believe
sense.
they sent a second letter, which reportedly I don't believe Novak signed the second letter.
I mean, we should probably talk about this more. There is this group of, and these are top players. They're meeting face to face. One thing we talked about with the PTPA is like, great, sounds good, but the players don't talk about this. The players are not letting their support. The players are not letting their platform. The lawsuit that was filed
to get players on to talk about it.
Oh, well,
exactly.
We had 2 cancellations this week for the player letter, people that were involved in the player letter. So I guess at some point, it's like, if you want the money, let's talk about it. I'd love to. I want to learn more about it, because we get all these vague reports of there was a letter sent. Who was it sent to? Was there a response? We don't know. Like, I'd love to just plain speak everything in tennis into reality. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think we need this cloak and dagger situation where it's like we're talking about like buzzwords like monopoly, injustices. We just want the best. Like, what does that mean? Right? We all want that. But like, we actually, at some point, there needs to be a very specific plan. Otherwise, everyone who it benefits to kick the can down the road and just hope that, next year leads into 3 years, is going to keep being able to do that. Now, the big thing is the money coming in to tennis. That is the difference between these conversations that were the same 10 years ago and now. JW, if you have a point there?
You want a little, I think I can say this on the air. The WTA is on the quote-unquote 1 yard line. Apparently, the WTA has a very big title sponsor to replace Hologic, a car company about to come on board, which, again, is another sign that, the money is changing. But I think you're right that I'm not even sure, like, who's gumming up the works here, guys? Is it the tours? Is it the majors? Is it expanding into 3 weeks? Like, one thing I loved about Taylor Fritz.
They all Spider-Man meme it. You know the Spider-Man meme where it's like, hey, Tucky Sean, get in there. Yeah. We all just kind of... So the answer, depending on who you're talking to, is yes. Is it the majors? Yes. Is it the tours? Yes. Is the ITF? Yes. And it's just all the Spider-Man meme. And no one's responsible for their... It's like... Oh, okay, but then I've had conversations with people in these organizations, and it's like, yeah, but you chose to do this. And like, well, it's only because of, it's like, you chose to cheat on your handicap. Well, it's only because everyone else in the club cheats on their handicap. Jackson.
Name. Jackson. We glossed over this point. Can we just take 1 second and give some serious flowers to Taylor Fritz? I thought his response, and he was responding to a fan, it was full of specifics. It had common sense. It had logic. He was naming, the mixing and matching of the balls on the slow surfaces. Mm-hmm. I really understood it better after reading what he said. That's what we need.
We should have had him on this week.
I wish we could have.
He would do it.
We should have had him
He's
on
in
this
Basel.
week.
He was a little busy.
Yeah, we tried.
He was a little busy.
Next time.
Different time zone.
Next time.
We need specifics. Bottom line.
That's it. It's like I'm so sick of buzzwords. And I'm so sick of, let's leave it in a bit, like, well, obviously we're well intended. We want it to be in a better place. Therefore, you should put all our trust in us. No, you need a plan.